What a beautiful Friday. You guys want to spend it with Phil Officer for a few minutes? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for wanting to join me for 5 minutes on a Friday. It's so good to be here. Phil Officer, that is just a name I go by. Phil Officer is not my actual identity. What is your identity? What do you go by? Does your name actually determine who you are? Of course, your name doesn't determine who you are. Okay, what does? What does determine who you are? Have you really thought about that? Of course you've thought about that. Everybody's thinking about that all the time. If you're watching this video, you probably got existential dread problems and you think about this sort of stuff every day. Why do I need to listen to this bloke talking about it when I think about it all the time? We need to talk about it. Let's just get right to the point. I think most of us view ourselves how other people view us, and that makes logical, good sense because we view other people around us all the time. We're totally just these social creatures that were raised by two parents, if you were lucky, and they taught you how to view the world, and they saw you as something other than them, and so you view yourself in their eyes, in a sense. And I think it's time to just scrap that and view the world from your perspective, your lens, until you die. There's no need to view yourself from other people's lens because you will never see the world through anyone else's lens. How can we do that? Two easy concepts to sit on, experiment with, see if it changes your viewpoint. Let's get into it real quick. So the first way is learning to view your mind as a river or as a passing stream. And you've probably heard different analogies referring to your mind as a river, right? I think the more I've considered the river analogy, the more it has clicked with me that your mind is just neurons firing all hours of the day. I mean, that's all it does, right? Is it just signals being sent, connecting to the body, connecting to the world around you, and it's just information gathering like a data processor. That doesn't have any concrete reality to it in the sense that it's not like a rock in the river. It is the flow, it is the stream. We call it a river as if it's a thing. I'm Phil Officer, as if that's a real name. But is a river actually a thing? Like, can you point and say that's a river? And then in 2 seconds point again and say that's the same river? It's not the same river. It's changed. Your mind is in perpetual movement. It is never stagnant. It is always going, going, going. And I think a lot of us just get completely overwhelmed by that and it drives us insane. And so we grab a rock in the river and we say, that's me, I'm the rock. But that's not very accurate. You aren't a rock in the river, you are the river. And for other people, you're the river in the sense of the river we said earlier, where, yeah, we call it that, but the river's never really the same thing ever. It's always moving. And you are the same way, where other people might call you Phil Officer your whole life, but you aren't actually what they're perceiving as Phil Officer. You're not even who you were 10 seconds ago. And this approach for me was very overwhelming and not really productive in the beginning, but with time, it's really helped me to view myself as movement and not as something solid. And I think that's something you should just experiment with. I'm not going to go much more into it. See how that concept feels for you. And the second concept is somewhat similar but a bit different, which is viewing your mind not just like a river in constant flow, but like a mirror that reflects everything that comes before it. Instead of being so attached to what comes before your mind, recognize that it's going to pass. It's a little leaf floating on the top of the river that will pass by. It is a reflection in the glass that as soon as something moves out of frame, the reflection no longer carries that image. And these might seem like weird little tricks that, like, what is this even going to accomplish? But from my experience, this has been very helpful in changing my concept of identity and helped me not really cling to much. And when you don't cling, you surprisingly start to feel very liberated and free. So if you're looking for liberation and freedom, I recommend you give this a shot. If it works for you, let me know. If it doesn't work for you, don't let me know. I want to keep my delusions going, baby. So thanks for tuning in again to Phil Officer. It is a beautiful Friday. So you get out there, and not the you that I say you are, you get out there as the you that you are. You river, you mirror, you get out there, you non-rock river mirror. Go have a good day.